Look me up on Google, search the classics, you crazy bastard. Hold me up and pull me down. It's a battle royale in the eye of the storm. Drowning in the shallows when the path is getting narrow. I'ma ride it out on this broken arrow. Fuck it. Hold me up.
Welcome to Unfiltered Idiots,
where we chat shit about real shit,
talk shit about those not giving a shit, wondering and complaining why they ain't got shit.
Here we are, ladies and gents, episode 17, the 1-7.
The 1-7-17.
The 17, the 1-7.
Yes.
So here we are. It's been a minute, man. All this Omicron COVID stuff has kept us all from like trying to link up and so it's been a mish, but we're back at it, y'all.
I don't have any excuses.
Yeah. My wife
Wes
and
has
I got it.
excuses.
Well, got that Rona.
I don't think that they're being safe or careful. No, I'm just
we were all at an art show on December 17th, literally with like 50 people, and literally there was a few that didn't get it. Let's just say that. Yeah, and they actually got it this week.
It's so funny though, because I know that everyone knows that you're a personal trainer, and I know that you take it very serious. And for you to get it and your wife to get it and someone that I deeply care about, it sucks.
My client sent me a video of Muhammad Ali doing the rope-a-dope.
Yeah.
And he said,
exactly.
He said, dude, you've been like Muhammad Ali for like 2 years. Because everybody, like, I'm around a lot of people, like, as far as like training stuff. So like, he was like, you've been like rope-a-dope in this shit. And it finally just got me. So.
And I've had knock on wood, I have not gotten the Rona.
Wow.
Yet.
But you've been a lot more like,
knock on wood.
I'm around a lot of people who are like, they go to their work and then we're like, especially
and I'm
like sweating and spit flying. And I mean, we've been wearing masks, especially at the beginning, but like this last like month as well too. Or last couple of weeks. But anyway, so we got a lot of good topics for you guys today. There's been some things that we want to get, something that happened actually a few weeks back that we will talk about probably at the end. That was horrific, but we will get to that. But first and foremost, introduce.
What's up, guys? My name is Kenny. Born and raised in Aurora, Colorado. Have a couple of children, and of course, I work in the property management field. And doing this podcast now, episode 17. It might be 25, might be 30. There's some lost episodes in there, but I'm happy to be here.
Yes, yeah, and I'm Wes, aka Metro, also Southeast Aurora. Born and raised, 2 kids, and also have grandkiddo now. Yeah, little baby Callan.
We can't forget about Callan.
Always that. Yeah, my daughter had her first July 16th. Same birthday as a good friend of mine, and as well as my nephews. But anyway, yeah, man, I've been a personal trainer for 7 years. Actually, this January was marked 7 years that I've been doing that. So really enjoy what I do, love what I do.
Has it really been 7 years?
Yeah, it's been 7 years.
Wow.
I've been independent for like this spring will be 4. I've been on my own for like just. Yeah.
I remember when you first did that, I thought you were completely insane because you know, I'm a corporate guy, right?
Yeah.
So, and you had a really good corporate job.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this dude's crazy. But to see you flourishing after 7 years is great.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean,
proud of you, man.
It was a lot. Thanks, brother. Like, it was a lot. And it's why I push my kids to be the same way. And just youth and just anybody, even good friends. I like, go after, something you believe in, or at least, or have control of, and try to like, or like I said, if you can get yourself into a point where you really feel comfortable with what you're doing, then great. And that's the idea of it. But like, we got a lot of people that think going against the grain when you're talking about, the medical world, right? When you're talking about doctors and nurses and scientists, they're thinking going against the grain. Like, I'm not going to get this vaccine is like some sort of intelligent thing. Again, it's their body. It's pro-choice. I'm pro-choice. It's funny because a lot of those people are not pro-choice.
Well, I told you, I think we talked about it last time where I just said, I don't care. I don't care what you do.
Yeah. But it's like going against the grain. You're not like going against the grain is like what I did, where you leave like when you realize, hey, I'm helping a massive company like Comcast, which is where I was working. My last business account exec job was at Comcast. And I'm literally helping them really kind of destroy our country and our world. And so for me, it was a big moral issue as well.
Yeah.
On
you
top
were
of the
fighting,
fact that I love
fighting.
I was wanting to like get into fitness and, but anyway, like, that's the against the grain that I would encourage anybody to do. Like, but like saying, hey man, like, I don't know, 98 out of 100 doctors tell you that you need chemotherapy to help your cancer. You don't go, what? Screw that, dude. I'm going against the grain.
Well, I get it. I understand every single day.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to start branching off and doing my own thing. I've done that a little bit, but I still, I just can't. I got to know what I'm getting every 2 weeks.
It's hard.
Just
and
I'm not quite there yet, but I'll get there.
It's not easy. But you weren't. I was working for a massive company, and it was very like corp. You know what I mean? Like, even though I was out in the field and I kind of felt like I was running. I mean, I was running my own day for the most part. I had some meetings I'd have to attend, things like that. But it was definitely much better than, for example, going to, a job that's like you were literally, they're watching you every second. Yeah. You're like, oh, you have this much time to pee, and you got this, and that's exactly what I tell my kids. Like, you don't want to have, as few of those jobs as possible while you're working on whatever it is that you're working on.
And it's really important that you enjoy what you do every single day, right? Well, I enjoy what I do every single day. So I get up and I'm excited to go to work. And there's jobs that I've had in the past, especially when I started off initially in this industry. Your wife, her mother actually hired me as a maintenance, or actually I was a groundskeeper, and then I was a maintenance technician. In that job, I could not stand that job. Yeah. It's like you're on call, you're doing maintenance, you're fixing all these things, and I was like, okay, well, I saw someone in the office, a leasing consultant, right, doing slanging leases and bringing people in. I was like, I can interact with people, I can do that. Yeah. So the leasing consultant at Holly's, one of our work. Got promoted, and Holly brought me in as this, I believe I was 18 or 19 at the time, and was the worst leasing consultant on the planet. It took me a couple of times, a couple of organizations to get my act straight. So here I am 19 years later in the industry. So I think that it's important that people really find what they like. And again, in us doing this podcast, and I've kind of done my own podcast on the side too. I'm starting that as well. So just finding things that you really, really enjoy. And I think that that's great that you are encouraging your children, because that's what I do, to do things that they enjoy and not be, stuck around just doing what the man wants.
Yeah. And I think sales is, again, I give credit to the sales world, because I got into sales about 19-ish as well. Yeah. And I actually no, I was working for that company, so I didn't do sales until I was about like 21. But same thing, I think it encouraged me or taught me as well too about going after, like the harder I kind of put, in a sense, the harder I worked, that I could probably make more money. And of course, got like a lot of people driven by just the money side of it. But eventually, that gave me that ideology of understanding that I really want the motivation from it, and that the money will come. It'll come from me doing what I believe in. But it took some time, and like that's why we try to encourage you guys to, find good leaders and find good voices out there, which will lead us kind of one of our first subjects of somebody to not listen to. For example, like Tucker Carlson.
Oh, there's a ton of people out there.
And there's a lot. There's people on CNN. There's people on MSNBC. Right? Like, but one of the first topics we want to really get into is another segment where Tucker's losing his mind literally about M&Ms. We're talking about the cartoon little character M&Ms that come on our TV, and like, instead of being upset that they're advertising and trying to rope our kids into like eating garbage food, like that would be, if he had that segment, I'd be going, hey, yeah, dude. Yes. Let's talk about how they're indoctrinating our kids to eat crappy food.
You mean Tucker talk about something that makes sense?
Yeah. Like, let's talk about our kids eating, like they're trying to trick our kids into like eating bad foods, right? That's really the key there. But where did he go with it? Where did he go with it?
So he went down. All right. So I kind of watched some clips of it before we started filming the podcast. So he was talking about like genders, or what was he saying? Genders and something crazy about
they used to wear like long boots, and now they're wearing tennis shoes, and they're trying to indoctrinate our kids into like not into.
This was me literally before. Like I was like, I told Wes, I was like, I can't watch another second of it. It was just so like, outrageous.
This is somebody who has millions of viewers a night, right? Like he has this power in his hand, right? Like that he could be using that power to actually attack these companies and whatever, like from the actual right point. But what is he talking about? how she used to be wearing these longer, sexier looking boots, and now she's wearing tennis shoes. Again, we're talking about an M&M character, and you know, a cartoon character.
I'm sorry.
He's
dude,
losing
it's
it
ridiculous.
about how this is indoctrinating our children into not sexualizing an M&M. It's like, well, I would hope our kids aren't sexualizing an M&M to begin with. And again, if you want to attack M&M, like again from this standpoint, then attack him from. I mean, let's just pretend. Let's go down his rabbit hole, right? Like, then attack him for ever having sexy boots on an M&M, as if trying to make
that's
her
kind of what that was kind of like the thought
yeah.
process that I was going with. I was like, why doesn't he attack that?
Yes,
I mean, that would make more sense to me than the rabbit hole he's going down. But
we'll play the video for you guys too. Like, and you can see it where his issue is that he's upset that they are making the M&Ms less sexual, and that like the M&M put out a tweet which was even more funny. You know, that said, did our legs? I think it said, did our legs just go break the internet? That's what it said. Did our shoes just break the internet? And I was we'll play that video for you.
Yeah, so you will notice is no longer wearing sexy boots. Now she's wearing sensible sneakers. Why the change? Well, according to M&M's, quote, we all win when we see more women in leading roles, because leading women do not wear sexy boots. Leading women wear frumpy shoes. The frumpier, the better. That's the rule.
Tuck, it's 2022. Leading women can wear whatever they damn well please. Anyway, it sounds like Tucker has never worn 4-inch thigh-high boots, but go off.
The other big change is that the brown M&M has, quote, transitioned from high stilettos to lower block heels. Also less sexy.
Who found these inanimate cartoon characters actually sexy? What am I missing here?
That's progress. M&Ms will not be satisfied until every last cartoon character is deeply unappealing and totally androgynous. Until the moment you wouldn't want to have a drink with any one of them. That's the goal. When you're totally turned off, we've achieved equity. They've won.
What? I was never... What the hell turned... This man clearly has some mental health issues. On that note, Tuck decided it'd be a good time to try to shame the orange M&M for having anxiety, something over 40 million adults in the United States struggle with regularly.
The orange M&M will, quote, acknowledge and embrace his anxiety. And actually, if you look at him, the orange M&M does appear very anxious. Maybe he doesn't like all the ugly new shoes he sees around him. Maybe he liked the sexy boots.
Yeah, so it's interesting because I have really kind of shielded myself from that stuff recently, just because I want to try to get out of the funk. And when you're doing a podcast, and I've talked about this in the past, you do a lot of research, right? And so in that research, it will lead you down to some of the darkest fringes of the internet, and it was just.
But these are millions of people. Well,
I was smiling. Yeah. I was smiling when you played that video for me, because it's still going on, and it's so blatantly just ridiculous that this is still going on in 2022. That people, especially Tucker's audience, has millions and millions of people that watch the show, and they're like glued to the TV, thinking that this is actual real news. It's out of this world to me.
Yeah, that's why we bring it up, because this is a fairly large portion of the country. Yeah, I mean, when I say millions per night, I mean we're talking. I don't know what his actual numbers are, but.
So he averages, I think what I heard is he averages 6.5 to almost 8 million, just depending on what's going on. Yeah. But it's a lot of people.
And so you figure that's, like I said, that's a lot of people every night. And that's just the people who are tuning in there. You got other people that record it. You got other people that go to like the YouTube channel. You got the people that go to foxnews.com. Mm-hmm. And this is the same thing on CNN, guys. We're not trying to shit on, but it's just like, I'm not seeing these types of segments on this level. Are there things that they do that I go,
well, show me ridiculous. Something on CNN. Show me something, and we'll talk about it. That's that crazy.
It's that
like, and I'm not going to sit here and say that. I'm not going to sit here and say that everything on CNN is great. I can't even watch CNN anymore. But I can turn on CNN and get some news, right? Yeah. I can kind of figure out what's going on. And then you turn on Tucker, and it's just like I'm in a different stratosphere. Like, it's just like I'm not even on the same planet as this guy.
Yeah, they're not talking, you know, like his recent thing about now he's trying to completely pivot on the January 6th stuff, where he's going through and he's putting out this whole thing that looks like it's a documentary about his Patriots. And it's just one of those
so
things.
let me ask you this question. So are you going to watch his documentary?
I mean, I don't know. I probably will, just because of the fact that, like I said, it's like I will watch these things because, again, it's, you know, it's like a military strategy, right? Like, we're doing recon on what, because when you're wondering why, there's a person that, like, whether it's somebody who just is so against the vaccine, like, oh no, did I make it up my own? No, you did not. You never would go to your doctor, like I said before, and say, oh my God, you have some sort of cancer. Right? Like, that's not good. If you went to 100 doctors and 98 of them told you need to do this, and 2 of them said, I don't know, man, they think this, you're going to go with those 98 and you're going to be right probably 98% of the time, maybe more than that. Like, so when you have people saying they're making up their own mind and they're free thinkers and all this, like, no, you got bamboozled by a guy who, the moment that was available, that shot was available, they all got it.
I'm just saying.
The moment. Year,
hey, those people that were saying that they don't do the shot, don't take the shot, got that right before we even could think about getting that shot.
And instead of them attacking the conspiracy of COVID, is Pfizer and Moderna not releasing the patents on being in the technology of the mRNA shot.
It's better business. It's better business in the United States to fearmonger.
Yeah.
It's better business for the other side to lie. And
I mean, even both sides, they make more money.
It's just ridiculous to see how gullible people are. I mean, you can literally look at something and say, my 8-year-old, 9-year-old can say, that's not real, Dad. But these are things that people actually think is facts. It's just, it's insane to me.
Yeah, like I said, when you have that kind of power, whether you're Rachel Maddow, Tucker, Lemon, Hannity, right? Like, whomever, like Wolf Blitzer, right? Like Laura Ingraham. When you have that kind of power, that many viewers, like, first of all, you have a journalist degree, so like that in itself is supposed to come with an oath. You know what I mean? Like, you're supposed to be having an oath there, and I attack them all for not doing that right.
Yeah.
But when I see these segments where it's like, these are again, it's one thing when somebody's deliberately not attacking Pfizer like at all, like because it's like, Don Lemon brought to you by Pfizer. It's like, well, there you go. That's why he's not attacking Pfizer. Yeah. Well, then you turn the channel, and it's like, Lauren Ingram brought to you by Pfizer. Well, there you go. So they're both not attacking for those reasons, right? We've talked about this before, but when you have people using that power, again, I'll attack Don Lemon, I'll attack Wolf Blitz or whomever who's not attacking Pfizer for the real conspiracy here, which is them not releasing that technology to the rest of the world so the rest of the world can get their shot. Yeah. In other words, releasing that patent, so they're trying to make all the money off of it. That's a conspiracy. That is the issue, right? But like, they've got you to believe in the issue is it like that, all conflate this ivermectin. It's like, ivermectin can work, but I've not found any virologists who have said to not get the vaccine. They've all been vaccinated. Even the people that I've had people send me their names. Oh, this guy. I said, dude, have you done any research on that virologist that you sent to me? Because that virologist says on tape many times he is vaccinated or she is vaccinated. Yeah. And they say, get the vaccine, it's safe. But what they say was, when they're talking about ivermectin, they're saying if you use it early, it can be of help to lower the symptoms. That is not the same thing as don't get the vaccine and it's all bullshit. They say get the vaccine. They're saying that ivermectin shouldn't be, attacked at such a level it is, and I agree with that.
Okay, so here is, so I want to go with this a little bit. So people that have been told to get the vaccine and people that have been told not to get the vaccine, right? And you touched on it. Those are the people that had come out initially and said don't get the vaccine are the ones that have gotten it, right? Yeah. Or they gotten it before we did.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, and I go back to what was it, March of 2020 when this all hit?
Yeah, February. Yeah, like March.
February, March,
yeah.
whatever. And
I think the first case was like
it was such a
days
critical time because I remember President Trump saying, "Oh, we only have 5. Oh, we only have 15. You know what I mean? And it's going to be 0." And I feel like it was such a critical time for our leadership to actually start, devising a plan in which we could, kind of, take care of this issue, right? In a respectful manner. But for some reason, the game plan, and I'm in just come with me on this journey real quick. So we're saying that our government officials got together at the highest level of government and told and talked about lying to the American people. Like, I'm sorry, I still struggle with that to this day on how corrupt people can be.
For money.
And it
Money and power.
That February, March critical decision thinking right there is the reason why we are here
it wired
today.
People's brains one way.
Yeah,
like,
and once it was wired that way, once you went that way, you're not going in another direction.
I mean, I'm sure, like I said, if for the 100% of people who were against it at that time, you probably have, 40% of them truly who have went and got the vaccine, who came to reason, but like 60% of, I don't know, like, let's say for simple math, there's 100 million that were, in that camp, right? I mean, with 330 million people, you figure obviously there's kids and people that don't pay attention, but just for simple math, let's say there's 100 million who are in that camp of all the vaccines a hoax because that's what their political party was saying, right? That it's all made up, and this American exceptionalism is if like all the rest of the world is killing their people just to get Daddy Trump out of there, which is just in itself, like if I ever sat there and said, oh, I think the whole world has created this pandemic to get Biden out, I would hope somebody would literally tell me that I sound like a dumb idiot. Like, that's just so outlandish and crazy that like, but it worked because he was saying it. So and whatever he said was like gospel.
Right, and let me just tell you this. So let's just say President Obama did the exact same way, handled it the exact same way.
Oh yeah.
They would have lost their minds because he was not handling the pandemic
I'd be like, dude, you're lying to your
He wasn't blah blah blah. So what is the real issue here? Like what are we even talking about? What we're talking about is there's double standards everywhere, and I'm not even gonna. I will bring up race at some point.
Yeah,
I will do that.
Talk about a little bit about
that. But people really need to start understanding and thinking that way.
Because if Obama was doing that, I'd be like, dude, publicly, I've trashed all these people.
Could you imagine, though?
I would have absolutely trashed him.
Obama said it's fake. It's going to go away.
I would have been like,
could you freaking imagine what these Republicans would have done?
Millions of people are going to die, and and there already been like hundreds of thousands at that point that have died. Anyway, and we've talked about this before, but the reason why we brought that back up is because when we talk about why Tucker Carlson is doing these, these segments with all that power, all those eyeballs, right? And he's taking that time to talk about the M&Ms are trying to, I don't even get like what his thing. You guys saw the video at this point because we showed it to you, but like his issue is almost like he wants them to be back sexually, like, and that shows you just how this, this indoctrination of like getting you to go down any rabbit hole that they want you to get.
Or is it if Tucker's just trying to see where he can and how far he can
he's not a dumb guy.
He's not.
He's got a good education.
He's not dumb at all.
He's part of the Swanson era. That Swanson's that like deliver. They do a lot of the school deliveries, but all they deliver all kinds. Like Swanson with the little swan. He's one of their heirs. Swans, yeah. Swan, or what did I say?
Swanson.
Swan. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Swans.
Isn't it Swans?
No,
Swans.
Swans, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, but he's an heir to like. So this is a guy that he grew up with private schools and going to like all the best schools. I believe he went to Trinity. Anyway, so like that. So when we talk about it, guys, this is why this indoctrination of like using that power for evil, right? Instead of for good. Instead of trying to tell you like, hey. Isn't it? Can't we kind of go after these companies for trying to trick our kids into eating bad foods? Then guess what? now you got me. Now you captivated me. Now you have me going, hey, yeah, that's where we attack him. That's where we attack him. We should attack him like, why are we allowing them to advertise on Nickelodeon or Disney Channel, period? Why like Frosted Flakes and McDonald's and sodas and all that stuff? That's where we should be attacking him. But instead, they're attacking him for like making a Mr. Potato Head with all the parts, and now it's just Potato Head.
And now and
it's like he wanted you to pay more money to buy both things.
Me sitting here, even having this conversation, is making my ears bleed. I just cannot even believe that these are the conversations that we're having today. Like, it's just ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous thing. I mean, we're talking about an M&M
cartoon. You know what I mean? Like,
let that sink in.
Yeah. Like,
okay.
Y'all saw the video. I mean, this is not us. This is like outlandish, and you know, I'll segue to our next like subject, because this is where this leads to, and I know you guys might think like, how does this lead to this type of person? But I see this as these dots are connected. When you have a woman in Virginia who went to a school meeting, right? And basically about them having to go back to mask mandates, I believe, tomorrow. This is, I believe, on Thursday or Friday that she was there. And she, you know, literally threatens that, like, she will not be having her kids come into school with a mask. She's going to bring her guns loaded. And they basically cut her off after she starts to say all this stuff. And then later, she gets to go, first of all, she gets to go home, right? You just threaten school officials saying, I'm going to bring my guns loaded to school Monday and be ready to, that's literally, again, we'll show you guys the video in a second, but that's literally what she says. She got to go home, right?
Yeah.
She didn't get to, she didn't go to jail. She didn't get arrested. She still hasn't been arrested. She hasn't been charged with anything.
The police department came out with a statement stating that obviously they're going to investigate, and if any Virginia laws were broken, they will make sure that they file charges against this woman. Which, in layman's terms, nothing will be happening.
Yeah, and then she released a statement, an email saying how, you know, how she didn't mean guns as in like a bang bang gun. She meant that she was going to get like the news involved.
Yeah, get the
like
coming guns ablazing, you know that.
We'll show you guys the video right now. So now that you've seen it, you can see, like, again, this isn't, you know, rocket science, or like, we don't understand what you're talking about. If I tell, again, first of all, there's laws on the book, legislative laws on the book, about threatening school violence, threatening at meetings about school violence. And if that,
it was clearly a threat.
And if that was a person of color, Muslim, somebody that wasn't Christian, like,
oh my God,
I mean, anything,
under the jail.
Oh my God, it's immediate. Like, even if it was, you know, like I said, if it was somebody even like, you know, myself, in a sense that like looks like I could be like, you know, more, I don't know, like dangerous or something, right? Like, I guarantee you I'll probably get in trouble too. But no, it's a white woman who, you know, this is her own face. I've done the research on her. She
was able to like kind of talk around it,
yeah,
because she has enough sense that she's able to kind of spin it. And there's people out there that...
Well, she's an evangelical. Yeah. She's a white... I've looked her up. She's She's all about, like, everything in her page is how she's all about Jesus,
the
this
Lord.
And that. But, like, guess what?
God bless you.
I don't remember Jesus ever talking about getting their, like, AKs
We're
and ARs.
We're praying for you.
Yeah. About getting his ARs and AKs and coming down to the school and gunning people down. But, you know, I guess that's what would Jesus do, right? WWJD. But that's what she talks about on her social medias, and they gave her the option, you know, the ability to, you know, construct, you know, a lie about what she was really alluding to.
Instead of just taking the cold hard facts that they had right there. Yeah. I mean, I saw the video for 2 minutes?
Yeah.
And yeah, she should have been arrested, but then again, like we just said, she had the ability to go home and kind of, you know, spin the story, construct the story, and just spin it around. And when you spin it, it makes more sense.
I'm sure the police contacted her and
what did you mean?
And explained to her that like what you were saying was against, you know, could be considered a threat of violence,
a terroristic threat.
And she was saying no, that's not it. You know, and like because she realized like holy shit, like I can get charged with a crime here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so and like we say, guys, this is why when you have people going down these rabbit holes, and the reason why we bring them up is because we need to, again, like we talked about, turn the lights on. We need to show where these thoughts are coming from, because this is not just like 1% of the population. This is not 10% of the population.
Right.
We're probably talking 30% of the population that literally are watching this stuff. They're right there with it, and there's another 10% that get pulled into that 30, and now you get 40% of our population.
Well, then you have that percentage too that's even even worse.
Yeah.
It's just.
And I'm talking about they're in that 30%.
Yeah, it's a dangerous, slippery slope.
Yeah, and then you got police basically helping somebody that they should have been charging a crime against, and this is why we, in my view, and I'm sure you would agree, why we see a lot of these, officers who are making horrific decisions to like start gunning people down. I mean, this is just, they're watching this stuff too, man. And if you guys don't think that that's the case, you're living in a fantasy world.
Yeah.
And that's why they're showing up to these things already ramped up, already like
charged,
infuriated,
ready to go.
yeah, they're like, you know what I mean? Like, and one of the things we'll talk about in a second.
There's nothing worse than a cop that's charged up and ready to go,
Yeah.
and there's nothing worse than a cop coming in for backup. There's just nothing worse.
And like I said,
that's what scares me to death.
When they're watching this stuff and they're getting indoctrinated, where they're like, their views are being, this is being shoved in their head. That like literally, I'm now worried that if a kid's got a bag of M&Ms, is somebody gonna like try to go after him because they think that kid is a demon? I mean, this is the levels that these people, and I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying there's a percentage of people that go to these levels and start thinking like, this is the kids eating this demon M&Ms,
this demon candy. I had to kill him.
Yeah,
I had to kill him because
and
I didn't want the kid to be part of the demon, or him to be, have more demon babies. It's just like crazy.
And Tucker, Hannity, Laura Ingraham, I mean, OAN, Newsmax, I see it on there. And again, the argument from the right side is that like, oh, the left side has these too far to the left people too. Okay, cool. We've talked about this before. What is their complaint to those people? That everybody's going to get a trophy, that they're too sensitive. So again, and I don't agree with all of that, but what I'm saying is, I can't talk to somebody.
I just can't be crazy, bro.
Yeah, well, I
can't be that crazy.
Can't look at somebody the same as somebody on television talking about this is a war against evil and good, and somebody else is like, I just want to make sure that all the kids get the same trophy at the soccer tournament.
Right, exactly.
That person's like, yeah, we all don't get the same trophies, but I can't focus on that because I got Maniac over here trying to get people to get their guns out.
Right, and then everyone's stealing your country, and you must take your country back, and all this other stuff. So, I'm going to rock with the person that wants the damn, trophies.
Yeah, and I could talk to them and go, hey, listen, your kid got 4th, so they should get this size trophy, the 3rd place, the 2nd place, and the 1st place. I can't talk to the person who's like, dude, I'm heading to M&M factory right now to gun people down because they're creating demon M&Ms.
It's you know what? I shouldn't be smiling or laughing, but it's so true because look out if you work at one of those M&M factories. But
anyway, and the last thing we wanted to bring up.
Yeah, I mean, man, my goodness, we rocking and rolling again.
Is there was a shooting that happened, and we'll play you guys a video. This is graphic. Obviously, be aware of this. It's very graphic, but there is a gentleman, who was committing a low-level misdemeanor. I believe he took some stuff from Walmart or something like that. He was in a wheelchair. Apparently, he had like a little pocket knife. Again, he's in a wheelchair. Let me preface that again. He's in a wheelchair, and he had a pocket knife. He was out in the parking lot. Apparently, he had made a swinging it towards somebody, this or that. But again, he's in a wheelchair. The guy's not chasing somebody down running a 4 or 5
It's probably one of the most graphic videos I've seen in a long time, and we've seen a lot of graphic videos. So, form your opinion based off of that video that we're going to show you, but it's very disturbing. And
what did you think about, what were your thoughts about as far as, them shooting him, and what you guys have all now seen the video of them, shooting him in the back. We all saw him in the wheelchair going into the Walmart, but he's in a wheelchair.
They shot him in the back.
A taser.
Well, I mean, but even in
a
the
belly club,
situation,
knocked out
like
the knife and
I
choked
just
her?
don't
mean,
understand why the
a gun.
was warranted in that situation. Number one, and number two, it's just like why. Like, what was the cop thinking, right? What was that officer thinking? I mean, that situation. I mean, what was the guy gonna do? He was in a wheelchair. Like,
Yeah.
what was he? He was scooting away in the wheelchair,
Yeah.
and you just blasted him in the back. But
Multiple times.
yeah. Anyways,
And that lady in Walmart's, I mean, her reaction, you can see on the tape, that we showed you guys of him, like, I mean, being, even she, I get it.
hard to
Nobody's
watch,
going to
yeah.
watch somebody get shot and be like, awesome. But, like, there is, in my view, and I don't think you're going to ever waver me from this. If I'm running into a Walmart with a machete in my hand and there's an employee that I'm charging at, I get them shooting me in the back. If somebody's in a wheelchair going like 6 miles an hour, that's like, and
Yeah,
that's
it's
at
hard.
most. I don't know if they probably go like something like that, but like, and there's multiple cops, like.
Yeah.
A couple of tasers from each side, a belly club to knock out the knife,
Yeah.
and crisis averted. And
It is. In
a wheelchair.
In a wheelchair. Well, we're gonna have to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Wes's doggies, his
We're
puppies
they're
are
gonna
getting
get so excited to come out.
excited. Yes. Don't forget to like and subscribe to all of our social media channels at Unfiltered Idiots Podcast on YouTube.
Yes.
Unfiltered_Idiots IG on Instagram, and Unfiltered Idiots Podcast on Facebook and everything else. guys.
Spotify. Yes.
Google
Everywhere.
Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all those
it's
things.
Everywhere. Let's get back to it, everybody.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to
Yes.
Kenny Unfiltered or Unfiltered Kenny.
Yes.
I started my own podcast. We're still hooking up.
Yes.
Don't worry about that. I'm just doing some things on my own. He's gonna do some
I'm gonna
things
do
on his
some on
own.
mine
We're still
as well,
family. It's a franchise.
It's just a
we're
timing
yeah,
issue.
we're
So we gotta get these videos out more
yeah,
often.
we're branching out a little bit.
Yes.
So
But
we love you
much
guys.
love.
Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Peace.